Have you ever been walking your dog, and they're totally fixated on something?
Oh, absolutely. Like they've discovered the most fascinating thing in the world.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I always wonder, are they seeing what I'm seeing? Like that bright red fire hydrant. Is it the same vibrant red for them?
It's a question that really gets to the heart of how differently our dogs experience the world.
Right. So today we're gonna try to get inside their heads a bit, focusing on, well, color, how dogs actually see colors.
It's really intriguing, because for us humans, color is so fundamental to how we understand the world. But for dogs, the visual landscape is painted in a totally different palette.
So we've dug into a ton of research, observations, all that good stuff to try to really get a grasp on what colors actually pop in their world.
And hopefully by the end of this deep dive, you'll have a much clearer idea of what your furry friend is actually seeing.
Exactly. Like when your dog goes nuts for that yellow tennis ball but totally ignores the red one?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. And understanding it can actually help you interact with your dog in new ways.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. When we talk about color vision, we got to talk about, well, how vision works in the first place.
Right, right. So for us humans, it all comes down to these special cells in our eyes called cone cells. We've got 3 types, and each one is sensitive to a different wavelength of light.
So basically, different types of light that our brains interpret as red, green, and blue.
Precisely. And because we have all 3, we can see that full rainbow of colors.
The whole, visual symphony.
Exactly. But dogs, well, they have a slightly different setup.
Yeah, I've heard they only have 2 types of cone cells.
That's right. They're most sensitive to blue, violet, and yellow wavelengths. And this 2-cone system that's called dichromatic vision is similar to what we experience as red-green color blindness.
Oh, wow. So it's like trying to mix all the colors of paint, but you only have blue and yellow.
That's a great analogy. You'd be missing some key combinations.
Okay, so that makes sense. But can we, actually picture what their world looks like? I mean, if blue and yellow are their main colors, what happens to all the others?
Well, the big takeaway is that dogs see the world primarily in those shades. Blues and yellows. Now, those colors that really stand out to us, like a vibrant red or a lush green,
Those don't look the same to them.
not quite. They tend to appear as shades of gray or brown to a dog.
Wow, so that bright red toy I always throw in the park, it's probably not as exciting to them as I think it is.
Exactly. To you, that red toy stands out against the green grass, but to your dog, they might both look kind of similar, like muted browns or grays.
Huh. So it's not just my dog being picky, they literally might not see the difference.
Exactly. It all comes down to how their eyes perceive those wavelengths of light.
This is so interesting. So if blue and yellow are the colors they see best, does that mean those are the ones that will really grab their attention?
You got it. Their eyes are optimized for those wavelengths, so blue and yellow objects will appear the most vivid and attention-grabbing to them.
So maybe that's why my dog loves that bright blue chew toy so much. I always thought it was the squeaking.
Could be a combination of both, but you're right, the color definitely plays a role. And beyond the specific color itself, contrast is really important for dogs.
Contrast, like how dark or light something is compared to its background.
Yes, exactly. So think about a blue ball on green grass. Even if the dog isn't seeing the green as we do, that contrast between the blue and the less vibrant tone of the grass makes the ball much easier to spot.
Oh, I get it. It's like even if they're not seeing the true colors, that difference in light and dark really helps them see things clearly.
Precisely. So let's break it down even further. What do specific colors look like to a dog? Let's start with red.
Okay, so red, what does that look like to them?
To a dog, red usually appears as a shade of brown, gray, or maybe even dark yellow. It really depends on the specific shade of red and the lighting.
So that's why my dog has trouble finding that red ball in the grass. The red just kind of blends in with everything else.
That's right. Because the green grass might also look brownish or grayish to them, there's not much contrast, and the red ball just gets lost visually.
Makes so much sense now. Okay, what about pink? I mean, it's just light red, right?
Well, because pink still has those red wavelengths, dogs will probably see it as kind of a muted, dull shade. It won't have that bright, cheerful quality that we see.
So no real difference between red and pink for them then?
Not in the way we see it, no.
Okay, got it. Now, what about green? I mean, it's everywhere. Grass, trees, bushes.
You're right, it's a dominant color in nature, but for dogs, green, much like red, usually appears as a grayish-brown hue.
So my dog isn't seeing those lush green fields the same way I am.
Nope, not at all. It's all kind of muted and toned down. But here's the thing. Their vision isn't just about lacking certain colors. They have some pretty cool advantages, too.
Oh, like what?
Well, for example, they have more of these things called rod cells in their eyes. And rod cells are super sensitive to movement and changes in light.
So that's why they're so good at spotting that squirrel barking up a tree.
Exactly. They might not see the squirrel as clearly as we do, color-wise, but they're much better at detecting its movement.
Amazing. And I've heard their night vision is way better than eyes, too.
You're right, and that's thanks to this reflective layer at the back of their eye called the tapetum lucidum. It basically acts like a mirror, reflecting light back through their retina, giving those light-sensitive cells a second chance to catch it.
Ah, so that's why their eyes sometimes glow in the dark.
Precisely. Now, have you ever noticed how a dog's eyes are positioned more on the sides of their head compared to ours?
Yeah, yeah. Does that give them like a wider view?
You got it. It gives them a much broader peripheral vision, which is super helpful for spotting potential danger or, that sneaky squirrel coming from the side.
Wow, so they can see more of what's happening around them. But is there a downside to that?
Well, the trade-off is that they typically have less depth perception than humans. We have those forward-facing eyes, which gives us that binocular vision for judging distances.
So they can see more, but might have a harder time figuring out how far away something is.
That's a great way to put it.
So if color isn't their strong suit, how do they recognize us so well? I mean, my dog knows it's me coming home, even from a distance.
That's a great question. And you're right, it's not just about color. They're using a whole bunch of other cues, like your movement, your scent.
Right, their sense of smell is incredible.
Exactly. They're picking up on your unique gait, how you move, your individual scent. Even the contrast of your clothes against the background can help them recognize you.
So it's like a whole sensory experience for them. Color is just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. Studies even suggest that dogs recognize faces more by their shape and how they move, rather than specific colors.
This has been so eye-opening. And how can we actually use this knowledge to, like, improve our dogs' lives?
That's the key question, right? Well, understanding their color vision can help us make better choices for them. Think about their toys. If they see blue and yellow best, why not choose toys in those colors?
Oh, that makes sense. They'd be more visually stimulating.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just toys. If you're doing any kind of training that involves visual cues, like agility, choose equipment in those colors.
Oh, like those bright blue agility tunnels.
Yes, those will really stand out for your dog. And remember, when playing outside, especially in grassy areas, avoid red or green toys.
Because they just blend in.
Exactly. They'll have a much easier time seeing a blue or yellow toy against that grayish-brown background.
This is such good advice. So to recap, what are the most important things to remember about how dogs see color?
Well, first off, they mainly see in shades of blue and yellow, red and green. Those pretty much look like grays and browns to them. And importantly, contrast is often more important than the actual color.
Okay, got it. Contrast is key.
And finally, by understanding all of this, we can make choices that really enrich their lives and make our interactions with them even better.
Absolutely. This deep dive has been fascinating. It really makes you think about the world from your dog's perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Their vision might not be the same as ours, but it's perfectly suited for their needs.
It's incredible how much we can learn from our furry friends, even just by understanding how they see the world.
And who knows what other aspects of animal perception we're still missing. There's always more to discover.
So true. Well, on that note, we'll leave you with a little something to ponder. Think about all those everyday objects designed for dogs, like their toys and training tools. How many of them might be falling short visually simply because we haven't fully grasped how their eyes work? It's a fascinating question to think about. Maybe this week, try observing your own dog's reactions to different colored objects around the house or in the park. You might be surprised by what you notice. Until our next deep dive.